Good morning, everyone. This is an excerpt from Bharat, India, the Light of the Being by taoshobuddha. Excerpt from Bharat, the Light of the Being. भारत भूमि समस्त दिव्य आत्माओं के आत्मिक प्रकाश और चेतना से दैदीप्यमान है। आओ इस प्रकाश पुंज से अपनी जीवन ज्योत जलाएं। भारत भूमि समस्त दिव्य आत्माओं के आत्मिक प्रकाश और चेतना से दैदीप्यमान है। आओ इस प्रकाश पुंज से अपनी जीवन ज्योत जलाएं। Bharat is not a mere piece of land that was divided and subdivided many times, and many nations have eyed on its treasures. It is not verily a land that was invaded and ruled many times by various reasons. It is not verily a land that was invaded and ruled by many times for various reasons. Bharat is just not a piece of land that was ruled by many over the period of history. It is something more than a piece of land. It is consciousness, a poetry, a metaphor. The real India is not visible to mortal human eyes. It was during my talks at Harvard, Meditation, the Missing Dimension in Education, on September 22nd, 2009, the concept of this work, Bharat, the Light of Being, occurred to me. Of course, then I thought of writing the spiritual journey through India as India, my love, my being, my presence. In the process of time, the topic got erased from the desktop of my memory. It was later discovered during a flash, and then I decided to complete the work, and a book of over 300 pages finished in just 3 days. This is what I call my love, my being, my presence that India is. India, the light of the being, emerged as a new title. Indeed, the spirit of country of my birth and heritage pulsates through my being and echoes the spiritual heritage that lingers in my ears like the dissolving notes of an enchanting melody. For the first time, this was infused in my ears by a Naqshbandi Sheikh, Sufi Brij Mohan Lal, my mother's father, when I was just 8 months old. Since then, many Buddhas and masters have nourished and nurtured the awareness in many ways. Now I listen to such echoes perennially as I traverse along life's roads, and lo, there is sudden explosion of awareness. India is the inner space of every meditator. It is journey towards the discovery of inner spiritual treasures. There is a spiritual part of the nation which is beyond the material poverty and riches that your physical eyes cannot envision. Your cameras cannot photograph it. Your training, your education cannot capture it. When you are connected to the innerness deep within, only then you are worthy to be called a citizen of India, citizen of Bharat. then it will not matter where you are born or grew up. All that will matter is that you breathe the spirit of the nation Bharat. Your life reflects the spirit of Bharat. Indeed, it is this Bharat that I speak to you about. This is not Bharat of dreams. Instead, it is Bharat, the land of Buddhas. Bharat is not a piece of land that was divided and subdivided many times. It is not verily a land that was invaded and ruled many times for various reasons. It is not just a piece of land that was ruled many times over the long period of history. It is something more than a mere piece of land. It is consciousness. It is poetry. And certainly a metaphor. The real Bharat is not visible to human eyes. To see and feel the innerness of Bharat, you need to be a witness to your consciousness. Bharat is vibrating with a certain energy field which no other country can claim. Such energy field is the outcome of thousands of mystics meditating over a long period of life. It takes thousands of years before the seed of awareness goes deep enough and penetrates your layers of consciousness and sprouts. Sometimes life passes and nothing ever happens. And then suddenly, like deja vu, something happens and lo, the flowers of awareness are blossoming. And then thousands of people penetrate the layer of their individual consciousness and there is explosion. This explosion creates an aura of energy field that Bharat is. With a snow-capped Himalayan peak being the 1,000-petal center of India's psycho-spiritual existence, there is awakening that echoes through the message of its inhabitants from times immemorial. Krishna echoed this message as Bhagavad Gita, Valmiki, Vedavyas, Tulsidas, Nanak, Kabir, Meera, Nyandev, Patanjali, Gorakhnath, Panini, Buddha, Mahabir, Muinuddin Chishti, Mujaddad Al-Afsani, Nizamuddin Aulia, Amir Khusro, and many other innumerable enlightened beings sang the glory in infinite ways. Shankar gave the clarion call through the immortal call for the dawn as Bhaj Govindam. Not only that, Jesus and Muhammad sent their messengers of peace to this solemn land. Bharat is the confluence of such dissolutions. Lao Tse traveled to sojourn on the 1,000-petal center of India, the Himalayas. This was the experiment in the inner realm of the being. Such experiments in consciousness, no other country of the world can really claim. And the experiment that was carried out in Bharat was such that it not only sprouted, it started flowering too at different levels. Whether it is spiritual, political life, or the ordinary life of citizens, now the tree gives solace and shadow to each weary travelers. And you are ready to lose the immense treasure of flowers, and you will lose because you do not see anything in it. You have turned your back to it. You no longer see the meaning in it. The beauty and the fragrance that surrounds this blossoming of consciousness does not create any ripples in you. The West will have to start from ABC, beginning. If it starts on the journey of religion, the West will have to start from the point where we started some 5,000 years ago, at the time of Vedas. And for the West to come to the point where East had reached, it will take another 5,000 years. However, in the meantime, the survival of man will become impossible. This is why I say there is a great responsibility on Bharat's shoulders and its citizens. This responsibility entails the clues, the laws, and the methods of entering human consciousness that we developed. Even if you want to abandon them, hand them over to someone before doing so. That is the Bharat, the light of the being. But remember, you can only hand over that which has happened to you within. You cannot present Bhagavad Gita to the West, but soon it will be useless because the song itself is not in the Gita. These are the words. There are words in Bhagavad Gita, but these have already been translated in so many languages of the world. This is not going to solve anything. But how can we give that which was in Krishna? The essence, the being, the awareness of Krishna. How can we give it to others? The Gita is only the shadow of that, just an echo. How can we hand over that which has happened within Krishna? That can be transmitted only if Krishna goes on happening within us. And this is my way, the way of masters, so that meditator is born in you. Bharat has given birth to thousands of such citizens that adorn the spiritual horizon, and the entire humanity can bask in its glory. If you can develop the innerness to have the same light as that of Buddha's wisdom, then there is no harm. The question is not that religion would survive in Bharat or in the West. No, certainly that is not the issue. The question is whether it will survive, on which soil the temple will have to be created is not the issue. It is important. It is not important how many temples does your country has. It is not important how beautiful the temple you build. All soil is alike. But you are ruining the temple. Your body is the temple. You have completely forgotten that. It is the mystery of the unknown and unknowable. And you are concerned about the other temples. Enshrine the awareness there as the idol of harmony, oneness and bliss. Only then you can create a better human. It is another India, India of Buddhas, the eternal India. I am part of it. You are part of it. In fact, anywhere, wherever meditation is happening, that person becomes part of that eternal India. That eternal India is not geographical. It is a spiritual space. This India is my love, my being, my presence. जीवन सुमन चढ़ाकर तेरी हम अर्चना करेंगे. जीवन सुमन चढ़ाकर तेरी हम अर्चना करेंगे. जन्म जन्म तेरी हम वंदना करेंगे. जन्म जन्म तेरी हम वंदना करेंगे. A Maharashtrian composition. बाहुनी जीवन पुष्प तप चरणी. बाहुनी जीवन पुष्प तप चरणी. कीर्ति गाऊं तुझी जन्मों जन्मी. कीर्ति गाऊं तुझी जन्मों जन्मी. This will continue. Only this much for this morning. Until we meet again, take care and do have a pleasant day.